Hey everyone, welcome to the February 1st episode of the Nat Daddy Weekly Roundup. I am Nat Daddy. I go over the new books that came out this week and I grab a few that I think were worth reading or worth pointing out to you guys. A little bit of a smaller week reading wise. It's kind of a light week for publishers. But I got about 10 or 11 books here for you, and I'm going to sneak in a little graphic novel at the end too, just because we got some extra time. So let's jump right into it. Let's thank our sponsors. And we got 204 Comics, local comic book store out of Winnipeg here. Great guys. They do have an online service as well too, with amazing back issues there. So do check that out if you're not in Winnipeg. And also that's where we use our pull service as well too. We get all our books in that. So we'll be going over the FOC dates a little bit later on in the show in that. Again, relating to that FOC and that pull list. Support your local comic book store and get a pull list going, because a good chance you probably get a discount, and you'll guarantee the books that you want to get and not have to try to rush in there being a warrior on Wednesday and miss out on something that you would have got if you just pre-ordered it. Also, we've been working with the Blaze Comics lately too. We've been lucky enough that they send their books earlier to us, so we get to read them. We'll be covering one of theirs later on in the episode as well too. The new episode of Agent 2 is out, so we'll be checking that out pretty soon. And of course, we have ourselves as well too, so we can't forget about thanking ourselves. Do thank us, or if you want to support us in any way, go check out the Nat Daddy Collectibles webpage there at natdaddycollectibles.com. Pick yourself up maybe one of these fine exclusives, or if you don't want to do that, maybe just support us in a nice, easy way by subscribing to one of our social media platforms. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, definitely do that, and Instagram as well. So enough all that nonsense. Let's jump right into let's do the FOC right away today, just because I did mention that. FOC being the final order cutoff, meaning these are the books that you have to order by Saturday closing for your local comic book store to guarantee yourself to get a copy. It's great because, especially with books that have been selling out lately, or maybe covers that are hard to get, or maybe people don't know about it and it kind of pops to the end. You get a spoiler when the movie or the book comes out that day. This will help you at least guarantee to get those books. Let's jump right into it. So February 28th, we have Image Books, AWA, Boom, Dynamite, Titan, and DC books. On March 6th, we have the Marvel books, including the new What If, Aliens, Ultimate X-Men #1. We all seen what happened with the Ultimate Spider-Man that came out a couple of weeks ago. Brand new book, we're going for $60-$70 online in that. Pre-order a copy, most likely will sold out, and also done by Peach Momoko. So Weapon X-Men #1 as well too. Vault and Scout for March 6th as well. On March 13th, you have IDW books, and then on March 20th, you have Dark Horse, and I'd like to point out they have a new #1 there, the Dawn Runner. So definitely check if any of these books are interested in you. Do go check it out. Fill out your final order cutoff for your LCS and get it in there. Save yourself a headache. All right, now let's jump into the books. This week, we're, like I said, a little bit of a smaller pile, but still some good ones in here. So let's start off with from Distillery. This is issue #2 of Somna. This does come in that prestige size, so that larger size, and that. So I do like that, especially when it comes to books that are very art focused. And this is one of those books here. You got Tula Lote doing the art here. It's a lot of painting and that, a lot of very sexy theme to this as well too. Her books usually are in that. And you got Becky Cloonan doing the writing here. The story so far in this takes place during the witch trial days back in Salem and that. And this woman here is kind of being possessed or being heavily tempted by this sexual spirit in that. And she's starting to be a person that's kind of starting to explore her own sexuality in that too. a lot of it, doing like solo stuff, for lack of a better word. You gotta be careful what we say here. And yeah, but no, and it's kind of being her related or being her tied to or associated with like witches and stuff like that. Her husband happens to be like the head witch hunter, which doesn't help out any either. So as she's trying to be like more, sexual with him, and that he's very repressed and not liking it. He's thinking this, and maybe she's being a witch. So um, is it in her head? Is it a real thing? Like, is she being kind of possessed or chased by this sexual succubus kind of spirit thing? Who knows? But great book so far. Lots of amazing art. Do check this one out. Somna from Distillery. From Marvel, we have 3 of 4 so far of the Marvel Heroes Secret Wars Battle World. This is a 40th anniversary kind of sequel, kind of in a loose sense. Marvel's been doing a lot of this stuff lately, where they'll take a popular timeline or a popular story arc from one of their characters, and then they're going to go back and kind of squeeze a new story in there, which sometimes affects it and sometimes doesn't affect the outcome. But so we have a story here where we go back to the original Secret Wars during one of the episodes or one of the issues in Secret Wars. Spider-Man kind of wandered off for a little bit just to take a break type of thing in the comic originally, and didn't really mean nothing. And during that time, they've kind of spun a whole adventure out of it. So what's going on here? You got Spider-Man's been separated from the rest of the people by some other Beyonders. We all know that there's more than one Beyonder, and there's a whole race of them. So he's been separated by the rest of them, and they're doing their own testing and calculating and seeing what the human race is like with Spider-Man. A lot of neat stuff in here, just because there's Spider-Man and other Marvel superheroes take on other villains that weren't originally in the Secret Wars, and that a lot of them are kind of based on the Secret Wars action figures that came out at that time, and especially some of the later runs that weren't even released. They kind of got stopped before they even got released. So kind of cool there. Again, it's not going to mean nothing. It's just super silly fun, especially if you're a nostalgic feel for the Secret Wars. So do check that one out. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's written by Tom DeFalco, the guy who did it originally. So I liked it. Again, nostalgia though. That's going to tie into one of the other books I'm going to cover a little bit later on too. So we'll get more on that later. Being February, it is Black History Month. So we have 2 books out here celebrating that, one from DC, one from Marvel, which they do for all the major holidays and that. Again, very big size books too, a little bit larger size, kind of like your giant size. So expect to pay a little bit more, but it's worth it in that. So anyone who is a Black hero in the universes there are kind of featured here. And some of the characters for the DC, you got Static, you got the what's his name, Batwing, you got many of the Green Lanterns, you got Cal, the Black Superman. So lots of fun stuff there too. I enjoyed it. Even if you're not looking for the whole black theme stuff there. This was just a fun book, just a fun little book of short stories. Same thing too with the Marvel Voices Legends, the exact same kind of format. Just a bunch of stories of different heroes. You got the Patriot, you got Blue Marvel, Falcon, all the usuals in that. Again, pretty fun as well too. I didn't have one that was better or worse than the other, so that's why I kind of put them both up there at once, because they're kind of the same thing. But yeah, if you're looking for something that you want to read, they just gotta, because it is a lighter week, and that either one of these would be fun. From DC, we got issue 3 of the Batman Off-World. This is from Jason Aaron. I've been enjoying this way more than I should be. This is kind of a silly story where Batman, in his early years, is always looking to try to better himself and learning all kinds of new techniques and that. So he's decided to get himself picked up and then eventually captured and becomes a slave on this spaceship after he shoots himself off planet into the path of the spaceship. So while he's up there, like I say, he's been captured. He's been turned into a slave on the ship, and during the whole time he's up there, he's been learning how to fight aliens, learning their weaknesses and fighting techniques. And so we got a lot of fun in that going on there. It's almost like a alien fight club thing going on, with Batman learning how to become the best warrior possible. A few new characters have been introduced in this series so far. This issue does have the introduction of like 2 new killer alien people, a brother and sister that seem to be pretty ferocious and very powerful. So we'll see what happens there. I'm liking this book a lot. Has some great artwork in there as well too. So yeah, if you ever want to see Batman do Alien Fight Club, this is it. From Dynamite Comics, we have another one of their Disney properties. They have Lilo and Stitch #1. Spin off from the movie. Kind of fun here. Pardon me. You have the 2 of them living together, and we're finding out in this issue that the lab that Stitch was has DNA from him, and they're using it to make these giant robots. So that's a lot of fun there. Kind of interesting. I didn't even realize it just till now when I was looking at the cover here that Greg Pak does the writing on here. So Greg Pak, it does a lot of, not what I would associate with a Lilo and Stitch title. He does things like Punisher, World War Hulk, stuff like that. So a little bit different than Lilo and Stitch, but this is a fun read. Definitely good for younger people and for families. And yeah, Dynamite's been really kind of killing it with all their new Disney titles. So good on them. Speaking of amazing and great and killing it title-wise, from Image and the Skyborn imprint, we have issue 2 of Duke. This is part of the new Energon universe, where it has the Transformers and G.I. Joes together, forming this new kind of reality. Been great so far. Really liking Joshua Williamson's kind of updated look at Duke here. He's kind of a rogue an army agent now, or a rogue super agent. So he's being chased down here by Rock and Roll and Stalker. They introduce those characters in here. Again, tied again a little bit more into some of that older G.I. Joe lore. They have the Pit in here as well. So like I said, really liking this. Pardon me. It seems like every issue, whether it's this or Transformers or Cobra Commander, there always seems to be a little bit of a kind of surprise in there that they kind of add that just makes you want to keep getting more and more of these and not wanting to stop reading them. So again, awesome artwork. If you are a Transformers fan or a G.I. Joe fan, or just really into this new Energon universe, this is a great jumping off point, because like I said, it is, even though it does have a lot of familiarity with the older stuff, it is a brand new take on it, and it's been really good. So it's early enough that you can still get caught up. The Duke from Image. Annual #1 of Batman and Robin from DC Comics. I've been really enjoying this DC new series of Batman and Robin. Kind of has them doing kind of I won't say an odd couple, but a father son getting to know each other, living together. Almost comedy type action series. It's been really good. This doesn't have anything to really do with the ongoing story that's going on, so it's just kind of a self and one and done adventure. It's still pretty fun. Batman and Robin have decided to do some bonding and go camping. So Damien and Bruce have gone to the woods to do some camping, and it turns out that it was kind of a cover mission to a covert that was to cover some stuff that was going on there. So they end up being attacked by a gang of assassins, and it becomes kind of a camping version of Home Alone traps and booby traps and that set by them. So lots of fun, even though they are not Batman and Robin, they're just Bruce Wayne and Damian, but they're still obviously Batman and Robin. So lots of fun there. So again, if you ever want to know what Batman or what Bruce Wayne and Damien would be like on a camping trip, this would be it. Again, lots of fun. From Marvel, we have book 2 of Avengers Twilight. This is by Chip Zdarsky, who's been really super busy the last couple of years and been killing it. This new series has in the near future where everybody's older. Captain America is now not Captain America. He's kind of retired. He doesn't even have the serum anymore, so he's an older Steve Rogers. Everything is kind of like this corporate totalitarian lifestyle. Most of the heroes were killed off on what they call H-Day, where all the villains and heroes kind of had this big war. Now the heroes are kind of licensed and controlled by these corporate and corrupt businesses and governments. So not very great. And again, nowadays that all the older heroes are starting to kind of band together with Captain America kind of leading the way to try and take back get freedom. So great story so far. It's neat seeing who's some of these older versions of these heroes, who is around and who's not anymore, and again who has maybe different reasons to be different people nowadays, whether it's they have different goals or things have happened to them and they've had to change how they think about things. So great stories so far. I like Chip Zdarsky, so see how it goes. Avengers Twilight, book 2 from Marvel. And from Ablaze, this is one of the books I was kind of talking about a little bit earlier. This is issue 2 of The Agent. Really like the artwork on here. Got clean, crisp lines, very detailed, lots of action in here. You have a female law enforcement agent who's on a case. During this case, she discovers and she finds out that the world of magic is true, and this one fellow has been sent to kind of try to get her to join this organization that helps kind of control, I won't say police magic, but control and police magic, and deal with this murder mystery that she's going on too. So great book so far. Do check it out. Blaze does put out some pretty neat stuff, and I would definitely recommend you checking this out. Issue 2 of The Agent from Blaze. Okay. What do we got now? I got a few raw books here that I read as well that are pretty awesome. Let's jump into those as well. We got issue 1 of Jill and the Killers from Oni Press. A little bit of a thicker size, plus size issue. Really enjoyed the artwork in here. Very realistic, clean, simple lines, lots of great coloring. It's about this young woman, teenager who has had a traumatic experience. Her mother has died. She was drowned, it seems like, or at least they allude to that quite a bit. Maybe a car accident where the vehicle was submerged in water. We think that maybe the woman here, the teenager Jill, was maybe at the scene where it happened. But either way, she's been traumatized, and she's been home from school dealing with it for a little while. So now she's decided, and her family and her father decide that she is able to go back to school. And she goes back to school, and she's having trouble fitting in with her old friends and that. Everybody's into true crime podcasts and documentaries. So the biggest thing is they will all want to do these murder mystery type of things that you can order, the monthly murder boxes and that we've all seen. There's a really expensive one that they all want to get, so she volunteers to get it to try and fit in. And everybody's worried about her because of what's going on in that maybe she shouldn't take part in it, but she does. The box arrives at home very fast. They start going through it in that, and then it's very gory, very realistic. There's actually even a real arm in the box, so they're like, wow, this company's going all out, and this group of kids start kind of Scooby-Doo ganging it and investigating this. It has something. It's tied into the history of their town in that. This game is supposed to be kind of tailored to the group or the people themselves, so they think it's like that. And then they go back home after seeing all this and realize that this is not from the game company, because sitting at home when they get home is the actual company's game sitting waiting to open. It just got arrived. It had just been delivered. So somebody has actually sent all this to them from a real crime scene, and this is real evidence in that. So now these kids are part of this psycho serial killer's game, and they're kind of forced to have to maybe solve it or be a part of it as well. So kind of gruesome, lots of neat character building in here, and I really enjoyed the art. So Jill and the Killers, #1 from Oni Press. From Marvel Comics, we have issue 5 of Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. I've covered each of these as they've come out once a week. And like I said in previous podcasts, this is a kind of introduction of a lot of the Marvel supernatural characters. In this issue here, they introduced the 2099 version of Man-Thing. He's kind of a cybernetic, digital version of the Man-Thing, organic and kind of tech-like. So that's pretty cool. I liked it. It's your typical Man-Thing story, Spider-Man story, but just put in the Spider-Man 2099 universe. And this is the final issue of that. So, and they do say that coming this summer, there will be another big 2099 event. So it's nice to see that they've been building up towards something. So do check this out if you are a Spider-Man 2099 fan, or if you're just looking for a 2099 first appearance. Lots of fun, just normal fun. From Image Comics, we have another kind of a thicker book here. I think a lot of people are maybe anticipating this book to read this week. It's from the musician Kid Cudi, and it's called Moon Man. So this is a book about an astronaut, African-American fellow. I believe his name is Ramon. He's had a moon mission, but it failed for whatever reason. Nobody really knows what happened, because he doesn't remember the few minutes where the accident happened, nor does the camera equipment or any of the recording equipment have any evidence of what happened during that time. It just kind of went black. So something happened on there. He's back at home now, kind of just living his life, trying to deal with surviving from all that. And at the same time, too, something seems to be starting to happen to him. Maybe like these powers or something has happened. Something's definitely changed with him since the accident out on the moon. So see what happens there. Lots of great artwork in here as well, too. I quite liked it. And again, written by musician Kid Cudi. So there is also being a musician, they've created music for as well, too. So there's like a soundtrack for that. New music from Kid Cudi as well. So Moon Man from Image. From Marvel, we have a new issue of Spider-Boy. This is issue #3. Again, much like the other stuff I reviewed earlier, where I haven't expected to be enjoying it, I've been really enjoying the Spider-Boy stuff. It's just fun. It's just fun. This one here, they introduce a new supervillain. It is the Super Adaptoid, but it's like a little toy version of him. So it's like an action figure that is a Super Adaptoid. So Spider-Boy is fighting that. So that's kind of fun, cool, great for families, great for young people. Like I said, I don't like a lot of the times when they start making like all these different versions of Batman and Superman and Spider-Man, but this Spider-Boy one has been pretty cool. He does have just enough difference about him that he's not just a straight Peter Parker Jr. He has like these. He's actually like a monster and a boy, but he's like like a spider monster and a boy. So it's kind of neat. And they're still kind of working and building on that mystery as well, too. But I enjoy this a lot more than, say, like Kid Nova or Kamala Khan, but even Riri Williams. But this one's been kind of fun, so I do enjoy this one. All right, my last two books here that I'm going to review are new in the sense that they were released, but they're not new in the sense being new material. First off, we have the facsimile reprint of The Amazing Spider-Man 252. This is the book that started all the Black Spider-Man craze that's been going on for years now, since like 1985, I believe. So almost 40 years. Great book here. Completely complete facsimile in the sense that even all the ads in that are all the original ads, so it gives you that retro feeling there. So anybody that read comics in the 70s and 80s always saw these things for all the cheap send away points for gadgets and that. But yeah, this does have the whole story and issue of Spidey coming back from arriving back after the Secret Wars with his new costume and that, finding out what it can do, introducing the rest of the Marvel universe and the rest of the world to it. Yeah, lots of fun there. There is a foil version of it too, so if you're able to snag one, but you probably won't because most people would either snag it right away or they pre-ordered it with their FOC. So that's one of those reasons to get that FOC. But The Amazing Spider-Man 252 facsimile. This is the book that kind of again introduces the black Spider-Man costume, which after that was a huge deal back then. Nobody ever changed their costumes, ever. Not like nowadays where there's constantly new variations and skins and that, but that was a big deal there. It was almost as big as like when Coke changed from Coke to New Coke. Same time period actually, if I remember. But yeah, so check that out if you can. That way you can get a copy and read it for yourself instead of having to pay big bucks for that, because this is the original for this is quite a bit of money nowadays, a few $100. And last but not least, like I said, I was going to sneak this in just because we did have a little bit of a lighter week book-wise. And I can't really qualify this as an Omni, even though it has the completed works of this. I didn't want to do it in my Omni reviews. I got the trade paperback that collects all the Secret Wars 2 issues, so issues 1 through 9. I love this series as a kid, and again, probably more for nostalgia than the story itself. This is the direct sequel to the Secret Wars. It has the Beyonder coming down to Earth from his, Omni reality there, and becoming down to Earth as this all-powerful god, but basically as a naive child. So he comes down there to learn how to become a hero, and he's all these different interactions with Marvel heroes and villains. Some of the good stuff, some of the bad stuff. Again, being a naive, all-powerful person, god that he's kind of manipulated by others. He sees how humans can be good and bad. I really love this story. What I remember the most from this is all the kind of tie-ins and all the books that went with it. So this went on for, like I said, 9 issues. So for a few months there was almost every issue of the Marvel comics that went on besides this all had tie-ins to it. So there was quite a few books that all had Secret Wars 2 tie-ins, much like we see with the books nowadays and that. So I enjoyed a lot of those. I remember quite a bit too. I remember all the covers. They're classic covers. So all right, everybody, that's what I had for this week. I do hope you enjoyed it. And I know next week it is going to be a much bigger reading list, so we'll get on that for you guys. Enjoy your weekend. It is Groundhog Day, so I hope that where you guys are, the groundhog has had the pleasant results there. And winter is pretty much over here for Winnipeg. I don't want to jinx that or anything, but we've had a really good one. Otherwise, I will see you guys all next week. Peace out. Take care.